I grew up in the town of Santa Rosa, here in the valley. I've lived there all my life, practically. That's when my parents moved there. And I was born and raised there in Santa Rosa.
I grew up in Mission. My dad died when I was 6. He was 27, 4 months of cancer. This was in 1968. I was 6. My brother was 5. My brother was 4. My sister was 3 months. And that has had a tremendous impact on us, the kids, and even my mom to this day, the death of my dad. When did I decide to become a pastor? I didn't decide to become a pastor. The men upstairs decided for me to be a pastor. And the way it happened is I was in the police department in my office when a friend of mine called me, a pastor, to go pick him up by the dollar store, by the dollar movies. And I went in the police car. And he hopped in and he said, I'm looking for a church building that nobody's using. So me being a policeman, I know what churches are abandoned. So I pulled up in the parking lot with my friend of this church, and it had broken windows and tall grass. And in the parking lot, he asked me, are you ready to be a pastor? I told him, you're crazy. I'm a police captain. I have a high-stress job. I don't have no Bible college. I only been a Christian 5 years. I have trouble speaking some words. You're crazy. So I took him back to his car. 3 or 4 days later, I walked into my police captain's office, and there was a magazine on top of my desk, a Christian magazine, and the principal article was stepping out.
He was called to be a pastor when a magazine landed at his work at the police department, and it said, stepping out, and it was a Christian magazine, and the Lord had already showed him this building. So when he was called, I am with him and serving him together.
I've been a police officer for over 30 years. I've been in shootings. I've gotten stabbed. I've done everything a police officer could possibly do and experience. And the hardest part of my life and the hardest part of my journey has been to be a pastor. The only way I could still be here as a pastor is that the Lord has been with us and sustained us and guided us and protected us.
It's grown in different areas in the ministries. The youth, it's grown in women's ministry and men's ministry. We just see people coming and going, of course, like every other ministry. But what we embrace a lot is the love of God. And I feel that that's how the ministry has grown, demonstrating them the love of God.
This church has been open for about 9.5 years. There was times that were packed. We had to get extra chairs. We started a second church in Raymondville, and we started that church, and now we're in the process of rebirthing this church. And I'm excited for what the Lord is doing and excited for what the Lord will do.